The wind tore through the endless forest of northern Ontario, cutting across the frozen landscape like a knife, carrying with it a bone-chilling cold that sank deep into the marrow of anyone who dared to venture into its grasp. Snow lay thick on every branch and boulder, turning the world into a blinding expanse of white that stretched endlessly in all directions, muffling all sound except the crunch of boots and the occasional whisper of ice, shifting beneath the weight of the wind. The research team from the University of Delhi, driven by a combination of scientific curiosity and fascination with folklore, had arrived to investigate the legend of the Wendigo, a creature so feared and ancient that even local hunters refused to speak its name aloud. Ria, Rahul, Vivek, Rubina, and Ishan stood outside a small, weathered office, their breaths forming clouds that vanished quickly in the freezing air, while before them stood Jack Martin, their guide, tall and burly, his face etched with an expression of unease that no amount of explanation could disguise. "Listen," Jack said, his voice steady but heavy with warning. "What lies ahead is not safe. The snow never melts there, and the hunger, it never dies. The Wendigo does not sleep. It watches, it chooses, and it will not hesitate. This is not a story for entertainment. It is a warning." Ria lifted her chin, undeterred. "We are scientists. We are here to uncover the truth, not to be frightened by stories told to keep children in line. Every legend contains a kernel of truth. If we find it, we will document it. You will see it, Jack, and understand that we are not afraid." Jack shook his head, silent for a moment, then said, "I will bring you to the edge of the forest. Beyond that, you are on your own. Remember, the danger is not me. It is what waits, where humans are not welcome." Without another word, Jack moved forward into the swirling snow, and the team followed, their boots crunching in the thick layer of snow, every step echoing in the frozen emptiness. Hours passed, the sun sinking lower, shadows stretching across the blinding whiteness, until finally they reached a cave, carved into a cliff of ice and stone, its entrance dark and foreboding, like a mouth leading into the bowels of the earth itself. The wind screamed outside, but inside, there was an unnatural stillness, a pressure in the air that seemed to watch them as they moved. Ria's eyes widened as she noticed the carving etched into the stone. A human body, yet the head was that of a stag, twisted and grotesque. Jack gestured toward ancient markings on the wall. "It warns you, hunger begins within, consuming the body from outside. Speak no foolish words. Enter if you dare. The storm approaches, and if a Wendigo is near, it will remain hungry, because I am already hungry." Vivek swallowed hard. "So, a hungrier human can scare the Wendigo?" Jack's gaze pierced them. "You do not understand yet. Hunger is no simple desire. It is a curse, and it chooses despite the warnings. Curiosity and determination drew them inside. The storm outside intensified, snow whipping against the rock, the world beyond becoming a white void. Their supplies were limited, mere scraps, that barely held back the gnawing emptiness in their stomachs. The cold bit deeper with each passing hour, and fear began to seep into their minds like a slow poison. The first night passed in tense, suffocating silence. Only the sound of their shallow breaths and the occasional moan of the wind through ice cracks disturbed the stillness. On the second day, food dwindled further, and by the third day it was almost gone, leaving the team weak and trembling, the chill now in their bones, their minds teetering on the edge of panic. Vivek whispered, We're trapped. If this continues, it will take us, not just our bodies, but our souls. Ishan remained silent, his gaze fixed on the entrance of the cave, a strange pull drawing him forward. Ishan, no! Rubina cried. You'll die in that storm. But he did not stop. His feet moved, step by step, into the blinding white, until he was swallowed by the snow-covered plains. Hours passed. He stumbled across a frozen deer, rigid and lifeless, desperate to find sustenance. As he bent over, the creature's neck twitched violently, its eyes flaring a deep, glowing red, and in a horrifying fluid motion, its body began to shift, human-like limbs growing, face twisted, hands elongating into blackened claws. It was not animal, nor fully human. It was the Wendigo, pure hunger incarnate, ancient and unfathomable. Do not fear, a whisper echoed inside his mind. Your hunger brought you here. We only followed what was already inside. Darkness swallowed him, and when he awoke, he was transformed. Red-eyed, fingers unnaturally long, his mind filled with an understanding of hunger beyond human comprehension. He staggered back into the cave, and his friends recoiled in terror. Ria, Rahul, Vivek, and Rubina recognized that the friend they knew was gone, replaced by the Wendigo, a creature of pure desire, claiming all who falter. Rubina screamed, but before her voice could reach the air, Ishan lunged, and a deafening silence fell over the cave. Dia ran into the storm outside, but the blizzard nearly consumed her, until a tribal elder found her and led her to safety by a fire, the warmth a fragile shield against the horror they had left behind. She was alive perhaps because she had never succumbed to the inner hunger, while the others were gone, transformed or consumed, leaving only the warning. The Wendigo does not die. It does not merely consume flesh. It inhabits the soul of those who surrender to their hunger. Ishan, once their friend, now wandered elsewhere, a vessel for insatiable desire. And Dia sat by the fire, understanding at last that the legends were never merely stories. They were eternal warnings, waiting for the next soul to falter and feed the endless hunger that had existed long before humanity learned to speak.